Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ellavision. I'm your host, Ella, and I am in Oakland's Chinatown with a little surprise just in time for the Lunar New Year. What better way to usher in the Year of the Fire Horse than with my new series? Let's go meet our first guest. Calvin Hum, my very first guest. I'm so excited. You're a very dear friend of mine. I've known you for a few years here in San Francisco, and it's been really cool to see how the city has really come around you and supported you and really have fallen in love with you because of your style, of course, but San Francisco Standard actually dubbed you the city's best dressed septuagenarian, though I think personally it's across all generations. You really stand out and people love you for it. So thank you so much for being here today and happy Lunar New Year.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Calvin, you're actually from San Francisco. Tell me a little bit about you being born and raised here and what the city means to you.
Yeah, I was born here in the Chinese hospital on Jackson Street back in the day, and I've been here ever since. It's my city, and I'm not leaving it anytime soon.
Well, I love to hear that. We can't have you leaving now. I feel like everywhere cool, artsy, creative, Calvin's there, and if he's not, it's not a cool place to be. So how do you make time for it all?
I squeeze it in. My mantra is I'm going to keep it going as long as I can.
And here we are. Yeah. Actually, I just got to let people at home know we didn't plan to match here today, but that's exactly how we met. Back in Chinatown in San Francisco, in China Live, Calvin walked past my table. We were both decked out in leather on leather, and I turned to you and I said, "Where did you come from and where are you going?" But I've seen the answer now. I mean, you're in the hearts and minds of so many creative people in San Francisco, and again, so many cool events. You have the Lunar New Year fashion show happening here at Peonies tonight in Oakland, and then you have your party for Lunar New Year at the Starlight Room in San Francisco. What do you take and what do you make of these places really accepting you and welcoming you and making you this sort of like really cool pillar in town?
Well, first of all, I'm really fortunate, and I really appreciate everybody coming out, reaching out, and having me, inviting me to attend these events, to build these events, and it's an honor that I'm very happy about.
I feel looking at you here today that it's like life is just starting at 76.
Yes, for me, it's only a number. I don't feel like 76, and I'm going to keep on going.
There you go. And you're going to be walking across that fashion show runway today.
Yes.
In this outfit, actually. Can you tell me a little bit
Yes.
about this look?
The jacket is from Sasha's house, and the rest is just me, and they're able to just let me do my own thing, which I appreciate, and hopefully people will appreciate it as well.
I think people really have responded to you and your unique style. What is it that you think people are so drawn to this look? And did it take time over the course of your life to really develop and become who you feel you really are in this way?
Well, I think it pretty much started when I was like 12 years old, and liking clothes, and continue to do so. And toward the 80s, I was able to afford some of the clothes that I was looking at. Primarily, I got caught up looking on TV, Channel 9. They had fashion shows from Europe which was very interesting. It was my first experience seeing really fashion as opposed to just ads for clothes. That was from the U.S. And next thing you know, I'm downtown going to some stores like even Macy's back in the day where they had all these imported designer clothes, and you can actually go in and see it, feel it, try it on. And that was my first experience and loving it, and love it to this day.
And I feel like a lot has changed, especially when it comes to fashion and shopping and accessibility for people. Though we can now online order what we want from other places around the world, you don't have that same experience a lot of times where you can go, touch it, feel it, try it on. But you still think that that's really important?
Well, for some people, it's depending on your level of quality that you're looking for. I mean, to feel it, to really try it on, to see if that experience really reflects who you are, as opposed to buying it online. But obviously, buying online is very easy if you're not having stores where you can actually do that, which is unfortunate. And that's happened here in the city where there are not that many stores where you can actually physically go and try things on. So hopefully that will change soon. I'm looking forward to that, for San Francisco fashion to come back.
And that's something that I really noticed about you. You're not just a person who's taking attention. You really love to give it where it's due, especially for stores across San Francisco, this restaurant here in Oakland. You really love to bring attention to people who are creating these unique spaces and selling these, really amazing little trinkets or clothes and pieces. I know you can be seen around town in Chinatown, but also North Beach. And so what are some of your favorite spots, and why do they stand out to you?
Personally, I just kind of it's like a puzzle, you just get a piece here and a piece there, and you just kind of put it together, and it just makes that statement. It completes the puzzle. So finding your own kind of look, you might say, it takes some time to kind of figure it out, and it's not like there's right or wrong. It's just finding yourself in that particular look. And I'm challenged all the time as well, trying to, I'm going to match this piece with this one, or what's the attitude going to be, or the silhouette's going to be. You work with textures. Obviously, I don't work with much but black, but lots of different textures, and it just gives a different vibe, so
Yeah.
Learning is constantly, even at my age, I'm learning, and it's very, very exciting.
Would you say your sense of style is continuing to evolve?
Oh, of course, yeah, totally. So it's always mixing and matching different pieces, trying things, and see how they work.
Yeah. And so what are some of the places around town that you're drawn to when it comes to shopping or finding some art that you want to incorporate in your look?
Shopping-wise, there's still some boutiques downtown. But again, online you will see, I get some inspiration just looking at the fashion shows, seeing what's coming up and things, and then going down to the boutiques and visually seeing them in person and touching them and just feeling the textures. But again, like I said, it's kind of slowing down downtown, but even with opportunities online, at least there are places where you can actually shop and have a good shopping experience by, where some of the shops have total measurements of everything, and another thing is if they don't fit properly, you send them right back.
And we mentioned a couple of times here how much San Francisco has changed over the years, and it's not every day that I get to talk to someone who's lived here as long as you have. So how has this town changed? A lot of people said it used to be cooler. Does it still inspire you?
Oh yes, I think, it's just kind of pivoting and going around, learning new things, especially from the young people, learning a lot about AI, which is coming to town and playing a big part. Unfortunately, a lot of old school things are gone by the wayside, but that's part of life. basically. So, I mean, trying to find your way through the city is always evolving. And a lot of changes has happened, but I'm looking forward to the future, you know, especially for my grandkids.
Yeah, and some people might not know that you are a grandpa, but that's not what they call you, right?
No, they call me GP. I'm not quite ready for grandpa yet.
I mean, you don't look like the typical grandpa. What is their reaction when they see you walking in looking like this?
Yeah, they kind of like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. It's probably not something they would see typically on a daily basis, but when they see me every time, they're kind of like, oh, okay. They kind of get it, and they're expected to probably, every time they see me, they're like, I'm in something different or have a different kind of a look.
Do you hope to
Sure.
inspire them and other people? And what do you hope people take away from seeing the way that you live and the way that you've developed yourself as a human being, both inside and outside? How do you hope people take that away and apply it to themselves?
Yeah, I think everybody should just be themselves, primarily, and to love yourself, you know, before even going out. You can't love a lot of other people without loving yourself.
Yeah, that definitely resonates with me. And I, over the years, I myself have embraced more of what it is that I love as I'm getting to know myself. I think people change and, you know, styles come and go, but also fast fashion, you know, tries to push something different on you. But as I've gotten older, and I wonder the same about you, you know, it doesn't really matter what's happening out there. What is it that I like? What makes me feel good when I put it on? And, you know, everything else can just come and go. So when you're shopping, are you looking at pieces that will stand the test of time and stay with you, and then you can layer on and develop rather than just, you know, toss it away when you're tired of it?
Right. Yes. I mean, fast fashion has its goods for some people that if they're not, you know, qualified to or have the means to purchase, you know, pieces that are, you know, more in terms of relevant in terms of materials or longer lasting materials, maybe more well put together, which is kind of the thing where I started back in the day, I would go for as well because I couldn't afford some of the nicer pieces. So with that said, it's more at this point where I totally invest in the pieces, and I will definitely keep them a lot longer. And everything that I buy currently will always match another piece that I already have instead of going out to find another piece to match my new piece. So it's a kind of a building up your wardrobe kind of, and I've been doing that since the 80s. So it's quite a buildup of stuff.
Yeah, I think with social media, there's a lot of this pressure of having a different outfit everywhere you go. I can't be seen wearing the same thing twice. And some people might feel that way, and I did as a younger person, but as I'm getting older, I'm more owning the pieces that I'm wearing and, again, changing them up a little bit here and there.
Right.
But what advice would you give to people who maybe haven't developed their own sense of style just yet, or are maybe wary or a little bit nervous to experiment or really go there? What would you say?
No, actually, just go for it. I mean, you're not going to know until you try it, you know, and see what works. And you look yourself in the mirror. You know, it's kind of like, you know, that first impression people always say. Yeah, put it on, look yourself in the mirror.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, swap it out, try something else.
Just
Yeah.
don't not experiment.
Right.
Got
right,
it.
Right.
Okay.
Even I do that.
Really?
Experiment. Exactly.
And so you do seem pretty mysterious. I think people might not know where your artistry comes from. So were you a painter? Like, what was your background? How did you get into the arts?
So I started as a graphic designer back in 1975, pre-computer days, and everything that was done by hand. So I have a love for art, and actually anything that's hand, like painting, printmaking, silk screening, sculpture. So I really appreciate art. So I'm am a member of all the museums in the city, and I go there at least once a week and always bring a friend with me, and we'll have coffee and look at art and chat, catch up, but enjoying art all through the rest of my life since in the 60s when I started going to the museums. And it was, my first experience was SF MoMA back in the Civic Center area in the 60s, and started to look at museums back then and continue to do so now. And I love taking people to the museums with me to give them that experience and try to just to introduce them to a different art form if they haven't seen before.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that about you. I feel like you definitely bring those spaces into the forefront of people's minds, just even if it's a friend like me that you would invite to the Legion of Honor. Though I'm personally not as much into contemporary art, you've taken me to the MoMA, and that has been some of the best times of my life, is just going around and looking at art with you. But is there any other place or space in San Francisco that is a quiet corner maybe that you go to escape or be with yourself?
I mean, I walk throughout the city just to get my steps in, but neighborhoods where there are a lot of activity, you know, North Beach where I live, Hayes Valley, in the Mission, there's all sorts of inspirations, and I just try to absorb it all. You know, there's no judgment, it's just enjoying for me personally.
And you're born and raised San Francisco. Are you first generation Chinese?
Yes, here. Yes.
Okay. And so what was growing up here like for you? I heard you were a little bad boy.
Well, that's another story. But it was totally interesting, to say the least. And to this day, it's definitely changed a lot. But I look forward for its continuing change. I mean, it's life, so we'll pivot when we need to.
Well, what was your upbringing like?
It was very interesting. It was kind of a traditional family, except I was not so traditional.
Okay, so you always stood out.
Yeah, in one form or another, yes.
Okay. And at what point did you start experimenting with your style, and did your family at first not really understand or question it or give you some grief over it?
Maybe it was when I was a teenager. It was a little different back then. I think there's always a little bit of rebellion in teenagers. And I had a little of that.
A rebellious streak?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a father yourself, do you feel like your kids understand your style and appreciate it?
Yes, they've seen me go through different stages as well, so yeah, they get it.
And when you pass other people in your age group, do they kind of look at you sideways and not really understand what's happening?
Yes, quite a bit actually, yeah. If I get on a bus or a cable car, yeah, there's tourists that would, like, you know, out of state or out of the country, and kind of like taken back from it and not understanding, but you know, it's my self-expression, so that's what it is.
What would you tell people like that who maybe haven't allowed themselves to go where you go?
Well, enjoy the view.
Yes. I love you. You're like, at least I'm bringing it. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I'm being me.
Yeah.
And you be you.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, there's no judgment, you know.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter their age. It's never too late to experiment, right? Why not?
Exactly.
Don't be shy.
Right. Don't be shy.
Yeah. And so this Lunar New Year, you are hosting a party at the Starlight Room. And from what I can see, there's just a variety of people across different backgrounds and different age groups that you're really bringing together. And so what's it like to see that type of response from the community for you just being you and yourself and doing your thing?
Well, it's quite an honor to see this really come to fruition, because not knowing back in the day any of these people. It's probably been only the last 7, 8 years or so that I met some of these people, and it's a perfect opportunity to bring them all together and just have a party, have fun, and that's all what it's about. And they can mingle, and they can connect, and they can, swap out phone numbers. They can do.
So you like being a connector.
Yeah, the party's for them.
Nice.
The party's for them.
And so for your Chinese background, is it something that has inspired you, or do you take elements of it when you're curating your style and your experience?
In some cases, yeah. There's traditional. Look at what I'm wearing here. It's beautiful, and I appreciate all the workmanship that's gone and design that's gone through in all these pieces. So definitely, yes.
And what about, I guess, mentality? Like, is there something that you take from your culture when it comes to approaching life?
Well, pretty much, I just have to be me. It's a saying that I've kind of always had, I think, at the back of my head, even when I was younger.
So before we go, any last words as my very first guest on my talk show?
Well, I can't wait for part 2.
That's right. Thank you so much for your support, and to Calvin Hom for joining us here today and letting us get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you.